First, my wife may fall asleep at any time, so residents of this building are prohibited from making any noise, day or night. Second, while my wife is pregnant, residents of this building are prohibited from carrying out any form of renovation. 3. My wife is afraid of dogs, so we forbid you to keep a dog. If you keep a dog at home, you must get rid of it within 3 days. Fourth, considering the radiation problem, if you meet my wife in the elevator, no one is allowed to look at their cell phones. 9. My wife cannot stand the smell of cooking fumes, so she forbids the residents from cooking at home. 10. The elevator door makes a loud noise when it opens. Residents are not allowed to use the elevator after 9 p.m. The corner of my mouth twitched. His wife is pregnant with a dragon baby? How can he have the nerve to make so many weird requests to others? Especially since there are only 2 households on each floor, the last 2 items are completely aimed at me. He continued to issue orders. From today on, all residents of this building must consciously abide by this code of conduct. Now, group leader, please help me tag everyone. The strange thing is that no one in the group scolded him. They could bear it, but I couldn't. I immediately retorted, "Your wife's pregnancy has nothing to do with us. Did the men in the whole building crowdfund this child?" Unfortunately, I have seen many people like this who love to talk nonsense. I said, "Who do you care who I am? The child in your wife's belly has nothing to do with others. You have no right to interfere with other people's behavior." The person next door called me and greeted me with greetings. Then he added me as his friend, but I ignored him. The aunt downstairs who invited me to join the group sent me a private message. It was the hottest time of the year in August and September. The air was stuffy and humid, with a sour and stinky smell. It was hard to tell whether it was like rotting dead fish or shrimp, or more like festering stagnant water. The smell is so damn bad that it can make you vomit. No need to guess, it is definitely the work of the restaurant next door. I went straight to knock on the door opposite. A bald man with a face full of flesh came out with an impatient expression. "Who are you? What are you doing?" I pointed to the jar of sauerkraut. "This is yours. It's not suitable to be outside." The man looked me up and down, then raised his chin. "Why is it inappropriate? This smell is too strong. Who can stand it? If you can't stand it, just bear with it. My wife likes to eat sour food when she's pregnant. You can't let her get choked by it in my house, right?" It turns out he knew that this thing smelled bad. "If you want to put it there, you should put it at your own door. If you put it here, my door will hardly open. Are you blind? Can't you see that my place is full? Your place is empty anyway. And this is a public area, first come first served. You can only blame yourself for not occupying it first." He looked so self-righteous and shameless that anyone else would have a heart attack in no time. Before I could say anything else, the bald man started to blame me. "How dare you come to me? It's already 10 o'clock. Didn't I tell you yesterday that you can't use the elevator after 9 o'clock? It will disturb my wife's rest. If you can't remember, do you want me to print out those words and stick them on your door?" Damn, they look so similar. It's too much like the way my junior high school principal scolded students. It's obviously impossible to reason with such a person. I didn't waste any more words and turned around and walked home. As soon as I walked to the jar of sauerkraut, my steps staggered, and I dry heaved a few times, then vomited with a ugh sound. The turbid and sticky vomit splashed all over the jar of smelly sauerkraut. Fortunately, the floor and my clothes were not stained at all. The bald man paused as he was about to close the door, and his eyes almost popped out when he saw this. "Fuck. Are you fucking sick?" Fortunately, my brother's door had a fingerprint lock, so I opened the door quickly and jumped in. By the time the bald man came over in slippers, I had already slammed the door. Outside, there were pig-slaughtering howls and curses. Then his wife came out and asked panicked what happened. Then the scolding changed from one person to 2 people. I was in a good mood and pretended not to hear it. That jar of stinky pickled cabbage is now wasted. I was drunk and slept worse than a pig. I didn't know how long the shouting and cursing outside lasted before it stopped. When I went out the next day, a smell even more foul than sauerkraut hit me in the face and almost made me pass out. I quickly located the source of the stench. There was shit smeared on my door. No wonder people in this building don't dare to mess with their neighbors. These 2 people are really bold. I asked someone to clean the door and didn't go to argue with the neighbors. Theory is only useful against reasonable people. When fighting against a scoundrel, you can only be more scoundrel than him. I bought a bottle of high-concentration skatole, which is non-toxic but extremely smelly. When the couple went out together, I sneaked over and gave their door frame and floor mat a thorough cleansing. I also sprayed the dozen or so pairs of shoes scattered on the floor. When the couple came back at night, the key stopped halfway through opening the door. Then the couple lay on the door like dogs and sniffed it, then the door frame and the floor, then the floor and the shoes. The woman couldn't help but vomit a few times and almost vomited. I was giggling while holding my stomach behind the cat's eye. The next second, my door was smashed with a loud bang, and even the roof shook. I opened the door a crack, and the bald man almost poked my eyes with his fingers and shouted, "Did you do this?" I looked innocent. "What? Don't play it with me. Who else but you could be the one causing the stench of shit at my doorstep? Did you see me poop in front of your door? Someone smeared shit on my door, and I suspected you did it? Was it you? You?" The bald man suddenly opened my door and reached out to grab my collar, but I was quick to grab his wrist. In terms of strength, I am no less than him. At this time, the bald man's wife came out to help. She stood behind her man, put her hands on her hips, and started swearing like a shrew. "Don't just stand there and act stupid. We don't know what you're thinking. You rotten-hearted bastard. If you do something like this, be careful to give birth to a son without an asshole. You son of a bitch, you wicked thing. You deserve a horrible death." Well, it's no fun to break the defense. I wouldn't do this even if you guys smeared shit on my door. No matter how the couple scolded me, I just said one thing from beginning to end. "I don't know. I'm not sure. It's not me." Anyway, the main point is to never admit it. The bald man had no evidence, and I held his wrist, and he couldn't catch me. So he pulled it out in anger, almost gritting his teeth, and said, "Okay, you better be careful next time. I'm making this clear today. We're not done." The smell of skatole was so persistent that the house opposite us smelled like a septic tank had exploded for several days in a row. People upstairs and downstairs were discussing whether people poop outside the door every day. The couple was so angry that they cursed in the group and stopped everyone from discussing it. The aunt downstairs heard about what happened between me and the neighbors and was worried about me. Those two are really difficult to deal with. They have no bottom line when doing things. If you provoke them and suffer, it will be useless to call the property management or the police. Haha, it's not certain whether I or them will get fed up and call the police first. I have to say, the behavior of throwing shit and cutting off the power next door is really enough. It's disgusting, you can't defend yourself against it, and there is no evidence. Even if you catch him and call the police can only give them a few words of advice, but can't really do anything to them. Any normal person would be tortured if they met such a scoundrel. But now they have met me, and they are the only ones who will suffer. I smiled, calmly turned the power back on, and went back to the house. A short while later, the power went out again. I did the same thing as before, quietly going out to turn on the switch. When the power went out for the third time, I calmly opened the door. The bald man was standing under the electric meter box, holding the power switch tightly in his right hand. When he saw me come out, his expression suddenly became a little flustered. "What's the matter? Is this switch interesting?" The bald man held his breath and tried hard, but his hand didn't move at all. I laughed. "This is a quick-drying super glue. It works, right?" The bald man finally realized that he had been tricked by me. "Fuck you. You're cheating on me. You turned off my power maliciously, so I can call the police. After doing this several times, I don't know if my electrical appliances are damaged. If they are, I can ask you to compensate me for a new one." When the bald man heard that I wanted compensation, he almost jumped up and down. "Bullshit. What's the malicious intention of turning off the power? I just wanted to turn off the power in my house, but I made a mistake." "No way. Is your eyesight so bad? You made the wrong move 3 times. I have been at home since the afternoon and have only just come out. Who did you slander 3 times? Do you have any evidence?" TSK, TSK, TSK. The moment he opens his mouth, he sounds like a scabby old man. I looked at him and nodded. "I really don't have any evidence. So be careful next time you play with the switch. I have plenty of glue at home. This time it was the switch. Next time it could be someone's door handle." After saying that, I went back to the house. Fuck your mother. Fuck your mother. The bald man was anxious and angry. His face was red and his neck was thick. But he had no other choice but to scold me. His wife came out and called him a fool, then said that the internet said it could be dissolved with hot water, so she picked up a cup of water and poured it on him. The bald man was so scared that he even scolded his wife. You are a pig. Do you want to electrocute me to death? You yelled at me? I was helping you out of good intentions, and you dared to yell at me? Who are you calling a pig? Huh, you're rebelling, aren't you? Well, it's an internal contradiction. In the end, the couple struggled for more than an hour, and the bald man could no longer hold his urine, so his hand was saved. The first thing he did was to run to my door and curse and kick it. I was lying on the bed watching TikTok. No matter how much he called me, I wouldn't go out. Let him call me if he wanted. I wasn't the one who was tired anyway. In the end, the bald man cursed for more than half an hour before he stopped. I was sleeping soundly in the middle of the night when the doorbell suddenly rang. It turned out to be a food delivery man who asked me to open the door of my unit downstairs. Did you press the wrong button? The guy said in a confident tone. Building no? Yes, it's yours. Buddy, please open it quickly. My order is almost due. I was wondering who would order takeout for me at 3 in the morning. After this disturbance, I am no longer sleepy. When the takeaway was delivered, the bald man suddenly jumped out from the opposite side and snatched the takeaway from my hands in a flash. This is mine. The delivery guy and I were both stunned. The bald man showed me the order on his phone, and it was really his. The delivery guy apologized to me. I'm sorry, brother. The bald man showed no sign of apology. He gave me an unfriendly look and went back to the house with the takeaway. I was upset and asked him what it meant to fill in my house number when ordering takeout at midnight. The bald man snorted and said, I just filled it in by accident. What's wrong? You can't understand such a small thing, right? I don't believe him. I couldn't help but say, if I accidentally fill in the wrong address in the middle of the night one day, you have to understand. The bald man immediately turned around and glared at me. How dare you? My wife is pregnant. If you dare to disturb us in the middle of the night and make her uncomfortable and the baby in her belly uncomfortable, can you bear the consequences? Yo, the dragon fetus warning is here again. I didn't say anything else, but politely extended my hand to signal him to slow down. A few days later, at 3 in the morning, the doorbell rang again. Hello, takeout. I put on my coat and said into the phone, no need to bring it up. I'll go get it. After getting the takeaway, I took the elevator to my first floor, then tiptoed back home up the stairs. It was so quiet that the sensor lights in the corridor didn't turn on. When I got home, I opened the takeout. Wow, braised dragon bones, spicy chicken gizzards, spicy crayfish, and ice beer. The bald man ate so well in the middle of the night. A few minutes later, my door started to bang again. I was really afraid that my door would be torn down one day. Open the door. You idiot. Give the takeaway back to me. I smacked my lips through the door. I'm just hungry. This meal is really good. Thank you for the treat. And shamelessly took it away and ate it. The police asked me, did you eat the takeaway? I shook my head, no. The bald man yelled, impossible. How do you know what's inside if you haven't eaten it? His wife chimed in. He did it on purpose. He ate our takeaway, so he must compensate us. Use your brain. Isn't it written on the receipt? What? I'm not like some people who are as stupid as a pig. Who the hell are you scolding? All right, stop arguing. The policeman stood between me and the bald man and said to me, since you said you didn't eat it, just return the takeaway and the matter will be settled. I handed the well-packaged takeaway to the bald man. The bald man was a little surprised when he saw that the takeaway had not been touched. Then why didn't you open the door just now? You are so fierce, and you come up to me as if you want to eat me. Who would dare to do that? You do. The police were speechless to come to deal with such a trivial matter in the middle of the night. Before leaving, they criticized the bald man, saying that he should not make the wrong address when ordering takeout in the middle of the night. In the final analysis, this mistake today was made by him first. The bald man was submissive in front of the police and kept nodding his head. As soon as the police left, his expression changed immediately. I didn't know what shit he was going to spew out of his mouth. I picked my nose and said, I really didn't eat the takeaway. I just opened each one and added something to it. But don't worry, it's just a little disgusting. It's definitely not going to kill you. After saying that, I flicked my thumbnail against my pinky nail. The bald man's face changed. Tell me what you mean. I slammed the door. Just guess it yourself, idiot. The couple was still standing at my door. Honey, this takeaway. Why are you asking? Don't you think it's disgusting? Eat it if you want. It's so damn unlucky. It's all your bad idea. In the end, the couple didn't eat the takeaway, and the woman just threw it at my door. The next day I went out and kicked him back. After this fight, it finally stopped. No one will suddenly ring my doorbell in the middle of the night and disturb my sweet dreams. My family doesn't need money. All day long I heard some noise from the other side. The couple were either throwing things or arguing. I happened to be on a business trip for a while, so I had a few days of quiet time. But I never expected that when I came back, the couple across the street arranged a super surprise for me. Shit, I can't find my door. No matter how much he protests, he cannot clear himself of suspicion. So the final result was that either we would mediate privately and have him compensate me for my losses, or he would be detained for 5 to 10 working days for malicious injury. Show up and show me some colors. When I returned home at around 8 o'clock in the evening, the bald man had indeed moved a chair and sat at my door, holding a baseball bat in his hand. He saw me and stood up suddenly. It's just that he was ferocious and vicious like a vicious dog 1 second, and the next he used some inferior means to deal with me. Don't say it. I'm really looking forward to it. The result really did not disappoint me. The guy across the street stole my package. Why are you asking? Don't you think it's disgusting? Eat it if you want. It's so damn unlucky. It's all your bad idea. In the end, the couple didn't eat the takeaway, and the woman just threw it at my door. The next day I went out and kicked him back. After this fight, it finally stopped. It just so happened that I had a friend who ran a decoration company, so I borrowed 2 experienced craftsmen from him. We spent a day carefully removing the cabinet doors and door panels, undoing the screws on the wall one by one, and then following the same process to put them back in place. The difference is that this time I installed the cabinet at the opposite door. The obstacle was finally solved, and I discovered that the peephole on the door had been smashed. The bald man and his wife came back the next day. When they saw the wall blocking their door, the couple stood at the elevator entrance in a daze for several minutes. This time he didn't bother to mess with me. He said it was his cabinet, so I moved it to his place. He said the cabinet must not be damaged, so I restored it to its original state. There was nothing wrong with it. The bald man never imagined that after all his effort, he ended up digging a hole for himself. But no matter how angry he was, he had no choice but to find someone to dismantle the cabinet. TSK, TSK, TSK. The couple, who always couldn't hold back their farts, stayed quiet for a whole week after suffering a loss this time, and didn't bother me again. But I don't think they can really swallow their anger. If they just disliked me at the beginning, they must be eager to stab me to death now. One night my buddy asked me to go drinking again, but when we came back there was no one on the road. There is an abandoned dirt road near the community. When I passed by, I couldn't hold my urine, so I turned in and took a dump. Okay, you're not as good as me if you want to be a gangster. I'll just use force. No wonder the bald man hadn't made any movement for these few days. It turned out that he was lying in wait for an opportunity. He chose the dark and windy night to attack me in a place where there was no one and no surveillance. I rubbed his shoulder and pretended not to recognize him. Brother, I don't have anything valuable on me, and this is a society ruled by law, so you better think carefully before you act. The skinny guy next to the bald man, holding an iron rod in his hand, turned a deaf ear to my words, looked at the bald man, and swung the rod at him again. Now that things have come to this, it would be impolite to talk about reason again. I didn't hesitate at all and kicked him in the heart. I thought I had taught him a lesson, so I threw the stick away and left. But I regretted it when I got back. I regretted being too gentle with the bald guy. After all, it was a rare opportunity to beat him up, and I wasn't afraid of him calling the police. When I woke up the next day, the owners group was very lively, with everyone discussing the bald man. It turned out that the bald man's leg was broken by me. We called an ambulance to take him to the hospital in the middle of the night, and it caused quite a stir. My leg is broken, so I have to be hospitalized. During the time when the bald man was in the hospital, The neighbors in the entire building seemed to feel that we had not yet settled the score with you. You are slandering me. How can your husband's broken leg be related to me? It can't be that he is just because I have a grudge against him. If you can't eat, poop, or have children in the future, you will blame me, right? The bald man's wife's face turned pale instantly, as if I had really hit a sore spot. What the hell are you talking about? She suddenly went berserk, like a mad woman, rushing across the street without a care in the world. Open. Some people can be so vicious that they repeatedly cause trouble for us, threaten, blackmail, and extort us. Now they beat me to the point of breaking my bones, and beat my wife who was 3 months pregnant to the point of almost having a miscarriage. My wife and I have been married for 5 years, and we finally had our child, but now I don't know if I can keep the child. What did my husband and I do wrong? Is there still justice? Is there still law? The bald man's essay seemed extremely sincere and heartfelt, and every word accused me of being an unforgivable criminal. Neighbors in the group spoke out one after another, but most of them expressed doubts. Joe is that kind of person. How could he lay hands on your wife? This guy is not that kind of person. An unremarked account echoed. Yeah, if we want to know who the bad guy is in this forum, there's no need to say it. We all know it. I watched the video several times, but I couldn't tell that he was trying too hard. You are all blind. Can't you see the diagnosis? Do you see the word abortion? I didn't forge this. A female owner immediately replied. Threatened miscarriage is not miscarriage. I had it when I was pregnant. In addition to reasons such as impact, it may also be due to the quality of the embryo itself or malnutrition of the pregnant woman. The bald man couldn't win the argument with the others, so he tagged me again. No matter how much you say, it's useless. I have already collected all the evidence and will call the police immediately. Just wait for the law to punish you. I replied to him. Well, why don't you not call the police first? There's no need to make a big fuss. The bald man thought I was scared. It sounds like the technique is already on the brink of failure. On the third night after the bald man was hospitalized, a message suddenly popped up on the monitoring software on my phone, prompting me that movement was detected on the screen. I clicked it casually and saw a tall man coming out of the elevator. Come, walk straight to the opposite side. The door was opened quickly, and the bald man's wife seemed to have known that someone was coming. Without any surprise, she smiled and pulled the man in. It was not until the next morning that the man came out from the opposite side. I certainly couldn't let go of such an exciting discovery. I spent some money to find someone and followed the bald man's wife for a few days. Fortunately, I worked hard and finally took photos and videos of the two people having a secret meeting. The bald man left the group. His wife also left the group. That's right. Any man would collapse after I exposed such a huge family scandal in public. How could he have the energy to fight me? The last time I saw the couple was one night half a month later. I came back from a night run and the door opposite was wide open. I heard the bald man yelling from inside. Get out. I bought this house and it has nothing to do with you. Then a suitcase was thrown out. The bald man's wife came out crying and gasping for breath. When she saw me standing at the elevator door, her eyes were filled with resentment. I made way for her and politely invited her into the elevator. She glared at me, picked up her suitcase, and left angrily. The bald man came out to close the door and saw me, and his expression became even more interesting. So fast. A month later, a couple of teachers moved in across the street. On the first day the couple came, they gave me a gift and whispered to me to take good care of me in the future, which made me feel embarrassed. Sometimes I still think of the bald man. It is probably difficult to meet such a great neighbor again in this life.